Hi, everyone. It is Susan. I'm here with Tina. We are here for 15-minute feedback. I almost forgot because I missed the time. And today we're looking at a subscription box site, which is so cool because it's subscription month inside of the Inner Circle. And we are going to give Kathy, is it Kathy? I believe it's Kathy.
Debbie.
Debbie. I am so sorry, Debbie. We're going to give Debbie 3 things she can do right now, because her comment to us when she applied for 15-minute feedback was that she moved her site from Cratejoy over to Shopify and she doesn't love it, but she can't put her finger on why she doesn't love it. So first, I have one overarching message for Debbie that I think will really help put things in perspective for her. And then Tina has 3 things that she can do right now that will really go help her turn more of her web visitors into customers of her business. So listen, if you can see us and hear us, say hi in the comments. Tell us if you are an Inner Circle member or not. Let us know. And we're going to just get started with Debbie's site. What do you think, Tina?
Yeah, great.
Will I share my
go ahead and share
my screen and we will show you. So Debbie's hi, Lisa. Debbie's site and her subscription box, I believe, is called Bubbles and Books. Is that right, Tina?
Yep, that's right. And she has a super cute logo. Love that.
Yep, for sure. But Debbie, we actually took a lot of time going through your site, more time than we normally take. We looked at it Wednesday. We were looking at it again today before we went live, and we were discussing what were the most important things. What are the things we can tell you that will move the needle for you now? Because we think there's lots that you can do to make not only make you like the site better, but also to give your audience a much more powerful message than what you
Hi, Debbie. Oh, good. Debbie's here. So
hi. Yes, so glad you're here, Debbie. I'm starting off on like the confused foot, but we've actually spent lots of time talking about this. So I feel confident that we can help you. And so I want to share with you the one thing, Debbie, that I think will change everything for you. And I don't know, let us know how many subscribers you have in the comments and what your hope is, what you want to, how you want to grow this business this year, like how many subscribers that you're hoping to get. But here's what I want to share with you is Tina and I had a look at all the pages on your site. You have a lot of stuff on your site. But what we both came to the conclusion with very quickly is that if you are not a romance novel reader, then this is not for you. That you have to lead with the romance novel. And the way the site is set up now, that is not the primary focus of your site. So you have a lot of subscribers. You had 310, you're down from 800. I'm sure you would love to get 800 subscribers again. So let's talk about what needs to change. Now that you're not on Cratejoy, where people are actually looking for subscriptions, now you're on your own. You're responsible for bringing your own traffic. Your messaging can change. You have much more flexibility in what you can make this look like. But here's the thing. It needs to be the book first. Because if I like baths, which I do, if I like baths and I don't like romance novels, which I actually don't read, this isn't for me. But when I look at this Bubbles and Books, what I see is someone in a bath and no clear idea of what the book is. And so, Tina, I'm going to just leave it at that. And then I'm going to let you talk about, I'll go back to Debbie's site and do some scrolling around for you. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about how she could apply that, how you can flip what you're leading with to the books first so that you attract the romance people because you want those people to stay as your subscribers. And then how you can change the messaging on your site to help with that. Okay.
Right. So I think, so just for the hero image, I think like Susan said, you've led with this bath image, which it's a beautiful photo, but it doesn't give me the feeling of what your store is about also. So I think you need to use an image that's a lot more personal to you and to your business. And I'll get into where there's some great examples of this in a minute. And I think the other part is your copy over the image. So reading and relaxation delivered, it's cute, it's nicely written, but again, it doesn't tell me exactly what your store is about. It does feel a little bit generic. I think it needs to be something more like, discover your next favorite romance novel, gift yourself and gift yourself a spa day at home or something like that. Like your time for you lead with the book, as Susan said, and then the second part of the messaging is about the experience of reading the book. And so, Susan, if you scroll down to the very bottom of the homepage, let's see, keep going. There we go. So here, I think this is actually your Instagram feed. And these images really speak to me, right? This gives me the feeling of what your brand is all about. They're warm. I see
one on the right, right?
Yeah, the one on the right. I see it's a book. And then I have this beautiful box of bath products. So I've got my book, I'm running the water. I'm going to choose with bath bomb I'm going to put in there, or bath salts, whatever it is. Like this image tells me the entire story and makes me want to have this experience. So I think if you used an image like this as your hero image with a little bit of copy, either overlaid or below it, that really told me what I was getting, then that would speak to your perfect customer.
I totally agree that that's the best image that I see there, because that actually gives you a full visual clearly without having to say a word of what it is you get. And that's really important with the subscription box. It's probably the hardest job for sub box owners, is to communicate clearly without a lot of words that people won't read.
Yeah, because the value isn't necessary, as you know, with a subscription box, the value isn't in all the individual items, because you need to make your margin, you need to pay for your box and shipping and all these things. The value is in the curation and the experience that someone gets of opening a present for themselves. And so your job on the website is to make that emotional connection. And the easiest way to do that is by using images like this.
For sure. Okay, so number one is we want you to think about your copy throughout the site, but the first quick easy fix is right here on the homepage, and we need to change this image so that wherever people are coming from, when they land here, they can make a decision about this is for me or it's not for me, and they can see visually what it is with that copy Tina suggested, which I think is perfect.
Yeah, right? Great. And then the next thing is, let's go as if we were a subscriber, right? So let's see what happens if you hit subscribe.
Is that what you?
Yep. Okay. And so now when I get to subscribe, all of a sudden you've given me a lot of different options. And I know for you, it feels really important to give people variety and choice. And maybe it is really important that they can choose the genre of book. So that's fine. That's something that you had 800 subscribers. What I would do is really cull this down and make it feel like there's less choices, right? I don't want to have to choose a subscription box from 2 pages. Like, we already had to toggle 2 pages to see what all the choices are. So I would think either have, and for each option, you have a genre, and then you have a premium box and a standard box. And I know it feels like you're doing the right thing by giving people all these choices, but actually you're having the opposite effect. You're actually overwhelming them and making them say, oh, I just can't choose. Do I want the premium? Do I want the standard? I don't know. Do I want this box or that box? And what's going to happen is, instead of making a choice, they're just going to leave your site.
You're going to say, I'll come back later.
Right? They're going to have the I'm going to come back later problem. So what I would suggest is that you consolidate. So maybe just sell the premium box. I'm sure you have better margins on those. You can fill them bigger. They look beautiful. So just stick with that. And then you also know what kind of books people like. So I don't know that you need so many choices. I think you're the boss of what the book is each month, and let them find it. You've curated it because you think it's a good book. They might not know that specific subgenre of romance novels, but they might love it. Like, your job is to give them something new to discover that they didn't know they were going to enjoy.
Right. Way too many choices means no choice.
Yeah.
Think about packing this, Tina, for 300 subscribers or 800.
Or 800. It's a lot too. You've given yourself a lot of extra work on the back end too. So I would say that's another thing to think about is, if you do get back up to 800, or even if you doubled that, how are you going to do the logistics of this every month, keeping all of this straight?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, hero image, pare the selection way down, because you're not setting one page only for sure. And gosh, I'd be inclined to max out at 3 choices. Honestly, I would. Mm-hmm. And I think that you'll find that less is more. Then it's so much easier to make a decision.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think there's also an option to pay in advance and save. Like, those are just too many choices for people to make. And so I pare this down. What you're looking for is proof of concept on Shopify, that you can give people a clear offer that converts. You have proof of concept. This is a different situation now. And so you need to make sure that you make it as easy for people to choose as possible.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the third thing we think that Debbie could do?
Yeah, so the other thing, which I think is a common direction that subscription box owners go, is if you look in the navigation, you also have a second choice for shop. And I know this is like a common option of, you can just buy the book standalone. I'll put past books in here, or I'll put the items that I have kind of sitting around, and let's just make a shop. So the challenge with this is, first, for you, these are a lot of low cost items. So I'm not sure that it's actually worth your while to be selling them as one-offs and individually. But the other reason is, again, it just kind of gives someone a way to sit there and add up the value of your box and say, why would I pay $49.95 for a box when I can buy a bath bomb and a book from her and only spend $10? So I feel like it just starts to put little bits of doubt, and it's a distraction. Like, you really want to be selling the experience of your box, and these standalone items don't really need to be on here. I'd say if you want to sell these one-off things, I would do that on a marketplace. I would do that somewhere else, but I wouldn't do that on your site. Your site's one job is to get people to subscribe, and you don't want to be sending them other places to buy small, low-ticket items.
Yeah. And again, more decision overwhelm, more I'll be back later. But what I also want to say about this, Debbie, is that you have 310 subscribers. That's a great number. And so all these extras that you have, that, maybe the books are things that you could put in future boxes, I don't know. But all these extras that you have should just be, they should be offered to those subscribers as a mystery, a pack with this month's order. You can pay $10 and get an upsell, and we'll include this mystery pack with your sub box. That could be an in-cart upsell when somebody buys the box. You could have Amy saying a secret sale. She's right. You could have a secret sale. There are so many ways for you to liquidate those, and you have 310 buyers as a captive audience that this takes away from getting subscribers. I'm almost positive, aren't you, Tina?
Yeah, exactly. And again, it's one of those things, like, you really want to think about what you want your ideal customer to do. Yep. And I think what you want them to do is buy the subscription box. Yep. And if, periodically you want them to buy other things, that's great. But let's bundle them and put that under that same box umbrella. So it could be, a secret box. It could be a plus size, a premium box, or it could be a first-time subscriber box. There's all kinds of ways you could do it.
Like a year. You don't have to do it every month.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. The other thing I want to talk about is your comment here, Debbie. And this is really common that we try and make this for everyone. And so you have mystery thrillers and personal growth too, in addition to romance. And it's really common that we would all want to do that. Like, we don't want to miss any opportunities to find customers. The problem is when you are on a standalone website, actually, even with an offer on Cratejoy, I would say the problem is that we are specialists. We are not generalists, and you will do a much better job of attracting your perfect customer if that's all there is on your site. If you don't offer all the other things that you talk about, one thing, who is my customer? It is this person. She loves a good romance novel, and she just waits till 8 o'clock at night when her kids are in bed so she can get in the tub and listen and read her book. And like, when you say, oh, we've got mysteries and thrillers and personal growth, that kind of muddies the waters for them. You want someone to land on this site because you're going to have to send people to this site, don't forget. And you want them to say, oh, this is perfect for me. This is just for me. And when their husband says, what do you want for your birthday? They say, this is what I want, because I already know that it's going to be exactly what I want. And so it's a completely different mindset than when you're in a marketplace or when you're thinking about shopping the book section at Target. It's you're not trying to attract everybody. There are enough people in your world that you can attract the right person. The other thing I want to share with you, way more of the right person than you could ever imagine, I'm sure. The other thing I want to share with you is, yes, you had 810 subscribers. So when I hear that it says to me that you have proof of concept. What you're selling, what you're offering, is what people want. But the other thing I'm going to say to you is, if you have lost 500 subscribers in a year, you have a retention problem. And so what you really need to do when you're thinking about how do I pare this down is you need to see which people are sticking around, like which box did they buy. And that's probably the biggest clue about what you need to do moving forward. Because to go from 800 down to 300 that says to me people are buying, a few, and then there's some reason that they're stopping. And with a box like that, it's so consumable. I think you should get a really high lifetime value.
Yeah,
I think that your concept is really strong. Now you just have to work on finding your right audience and your delivery with clarity. Would you agree, Tina?
Yeah, totally. Mm-hmm.
And the other thing we thought that you're doing really well, is you have a great pop-up on your site, right? It's very clear, that's super clear. But we really think that you need to change the messaging. So I hope that was helpful for you. Do you want to go back and do all three again, the three things that we're recommending?
Yeah, sure. So the first one is the main hero image. So I think use one of the beautiful images from your Instagram. You don't need to use a stock photo. You're at the point now where you've shipped enough boxes. You should really show what the experience is, and then tailor that copy that overlays that to feel like something that she's going to know it's exactly for her, right? So it's for the person who loves this type of books and that loves to read their book in the bath. Like, it's a very specific person, but it sounds like you know how to find them. You just need to have the experience of them getting on the site saying, oh, wow, yeah, this is what I want.
And she could use that great picture of her holding the box too for an
Totally.
Like, probably you're your own ideal customer, right? You can talk about the experience you wanted to create for yourself and then decided to share with others, for sure. Sure. And so I think you've got the hard part figured out. You are selling something people want. Now this might seem like hard advice that we're giving to you, but it's kind of like ripping a Band-Aid off. It's done. It's done.
Yeah, and then the next thing is just simplify the assortment. So don't make people page through 2 pages of options for the box.
No.
It should be really straightforward. And you have enough, like Susan said, you have enough consumer data now that look at what your top 4 selling boxes are and just take everything else off. Like you should only be selling those top 4, or maybe even top 6 if you really feel like you need more.
And these are, if the most of the one-time purchases come from existing subscribers, think about it this way. I want you to flip that, and I want you to make that a benefit of being a subscriber. Because the first time we looked at your site, we're like, $5 for a book? Is that right? Is it only $5?
Yeah.
Didn't seem right. And so that could be a benefit of being a subscriber, that every month before their box goes out, you're going to send them a link that's maybe not a published page on your shop of things that they can add to the box that are really well priced. Like that could be a benefit of being a subscriber. I know it all seems counterintuitive, but this is the way we create demand for our products once we find the right person. And so I think I think that there's a really easy way for you to do this.
Yeah. Sure. So it looks like Virginia has a question.
We need to talk about this, Virginia. So here's the deal. So my first business, I had a very small chain of brick and mortar stores. And I remember, if you've got a brick and mortar store, I remember people coming in and saying, especially after Christmas, is that all you got? Are you going out of business? And you'd be like, yeah, no, but thanks for asking. And that's the reality with the brick and mortar, that we need a lot of inventory to sell a little bit of inventory. We need that visual of all these things. And so that's a reality with brick and mortar, and that's a positive thing. But it's the opposite online, especially for small independents like us. We're not Everlane or, like one of the big guys, we're not Chico's or anything. And so what we need to do is get really focused on the items that sell, items that people want all the time. And we need to shed all the things, like lose that temptation to list every single thing you have on your site. Because what happens is people say, oh, there's 5 pages of dresses. Well, I only have time to look at these 2, but I'm not going to choose one because there might be something I like better on page 5. And then they're on page 5 and they're on their phone, don't forget. And they're like, oh, I can't remember if there was anything I liked. I'm going to go back. And then they go back again. And then they say, I'm going to come back. I can't decide right now. And so it's the same thing, that online, too much choice is kind of the kiss of death. Whereas in person, if you don't have a lot of choice, that's the kiss of death. So sort your product from your brick and mortar and make good decisions about choosing your very best styles and have them in more depth. So, usually when you would buy a pre-pack, it might be 222, small, medium, and large. You probably want to do it differently, right? You probably want in your, and you might buy it in 4 colors. So on your online shop, you might just want to get like a different pack if you can, or you want to put some in your store, but you probably want more mediums and larges than smalls, right? You don't want even across the board, and you don't need 4 colors. You actually only need the 2 best colors. That's how it translates, if that helps you. Yeah. Thanks for being our victim, Debbie. I'm excited to, it sounds like you have, the sky's the limit for you. So how exciting is that? You'll get it. I mean, nobody gets it right the first time on Shopify, do they, Tina?
Yeah, no, Shopify it takes fine tuning, but
your own independent site, I guess. It's not just.
Yeah, exactly.
Shopify. Yeah. So listen, gang, we're doing a little bit of a vacation now with the 15-minute feedback for the summer. So this is our last episode we're going to have the summer off, right, Tina?
Yep, exactly.
So I want to thank everyone who's participated so far. We still have the list of those people who have applied. And when we're ready to fire it up again, we'll let you all know for sure. But thank you so much for spending your time with us. See you all soon. Have a great weekend.